Oh, okay. Linda's in Quickway, and I'm not really supposed to talk about why she goes to the gas station so much, but I think it's because of the type of people that she hung out with in a certain type of her life. And in order to beat this thing, you have to get away from those types of people. And they're types of people that they always go to the grocery store. Nothing's wrong with going to the grocery store at all. but they go for a certain reason, or they go to these places for a certain reason, and it's not, something that I really approve of. But ultimately, I think maybe she's getting probably maybe a little bit better. All right, so we're inside here. So here we go. All right, so we're inside here. So here we go. All right, so we're inside here. So here we go. Ready?
Welcome to the Please Subscribe Show. Sorry we're not going to the bagel shop because of, I don't know.
Actually, I am today. I'm actually going to the one in Fort Worth to schedule something. I don't know if there's a fire, but it looks real hazy out. It's only about 10:45 in the morning. But I went ahead and transferred my application through their online app from the Dallas store to the Fort Worth one, because the Fort Worth drive was just the Dallas drive was just far too long. But I did come up, I got a phone call. I did come up with an idea and I wanted to talk to y'all about that. So, all the great filmmakers, like even David Lynch and stuff, they all talk about that filmmaking is all about great ideas. So, I got a great idea. If you watch the new intro to the Please Subscribe show with Linda and Cole, we're looking upward, and pointing and looking up at this big building. Well, I thought that'd be a great moment to bring in for like an intro. So we start off, it fades in, and then we're looking up, and then this cartoon tornado comes down and picks us up off the ground into the air. We start whirling around. In the middle of the tornado, there's basically like an electric stove that got picked up too in the tornado. So all these items and things have been picked up in the tornado, and Linda starts cooking on the electric stove as she's spinning around. I thought that was cool. And then all of a sudden, the tornado can take us different places. So it can take us like to, let's say, I think one was like a filming location, and we're set down at a filming location, and then we pose for a photograph. The tornado picks us back up and then takes us to like a fancy restaurant. Or maybe the filming location can be inside the tornado, like Wizard of Oz or something, and we get the filming location and we pose for a photograph, and then it sets us down like in a fancy restaurant, and like the utensils fall from the sky from the storm, and like basically like the spoon, knife, and fork fall and land perfectly on the table along with like the wine glass, and then we're sitting there, a candle or like, I don't know, some kind of candle falls onto the table, and a lightning bolt strikes the candle, and then, all of a sudden there's a flame from the lightning bolt. And, maybe, I don't know, Linda smokes sometimes. I was thinking maybe she could light a cigarette off the candle thing, but then we're trying not to show that she smokes. And then, we click her glasses. Linda clicks the wine glasses with us. Maybe she kicks me. Maybe she gets up and smiles and does a little dance, and then she kisses me on the cheek. And then all of a sudden, the tornado picks us back up, and we're back in the air, flying around. We go to like a museum, and we land on the top of the museum. This guy's right here is a butthole right here. Okay, just wanted to make sure you knew that. It's also got something hanging from the back, this back bumper. Anyway, okay, so the tornado picks us up, and we go flying around, and we're dropped off at a museum. And we're on top of the museum, and we get out and we pose by a statue or something, and the tornado picks us back up again. And then maybe it sets us down and on some country road, and I get on a hot rod or something, and I start driving this car really fast, and Linda's behind me. This is all cartoon. And she's behind me being pulled by these roller skates, or she's on roller skates being pulled, kind of like if she was being pulled by a speedboat, on skis, but this is roller skating. And then, we're flying down this country road, and the dust is all flying, and we're in this Western set, and we're taking photos and vlogging the Western set and all this stuff, kind of like an old Western, scene. Then the tornado comes in and gets us, and eventually what ends up happening is we end up basically kind of under these stars, and these stars form, and it says please subscribe, and you know, they twinkle and everything. And then we land on like this crescent moon, and we're on the moon, and I don't know, like someone takes a bite of a cheese or something, like there's some cheese on the moon. Someone eats some cheese, like maybe Linda feeds me some cheese, and I'm like, that's good, you know. And then she kisses me on the cheek again, and there's twinkle twinkle, and then all of a sudden, like, I break out this typewriter and I start writing, because I talk about writing a lot. Sorry about the Dutch angle. And I'm writing, and all these papers are flying around, like you know, like typing paper, whatever you call it, like a ream of papers flying around, and it turns into a magic carpet, you know, like you would ride on a magic carpet. And then all of a sudden, we're flying along on this magic carpet made out of paper, and it takes us way up into the universe. And all of a sudden, I'm wearing like this super costume. It's like a what do you call it? A superhero costume, and there's like a cape flying behind me. And I don't know. I was thinking maybe Linda could wear like a witch costume, like Bewitched, but I don't know for sure if I want to take that take. I like the twinkle idea. Maybe she's wearing some kind of costume too. We'll talk about that later. It could be like a superhero costume. Anyway, we're flying through the universe, and so those stars that said please subscribe, they kind of disintegrate, and then it turns into the please subscribe show, and they reorder, but it's also stars and planets. Turn off the copyright. Stars and planets and like satellites, you know, they all form please subscribe show or something like that. They form the letters, you know, like all these universal things, like from the universe. So we end up in the universe. So the tornado actually takes us to outer space kind of thing. And they form the please subscribe show, you know, like mostly stars. It'd mostly be stars forming the letters. And then I think the word see our universe comes up. See our universe. Because we're showing our version of the world. I thought that was kind of something that would be cool as a cartoon intro. Because I thought about these cartoon intros. I see a lot of them. And then I think I'm going to take this one pretty serious. So I'm going to wait and be patient and wait for the time to present this, and then this will be like the cartoon intro for it at times. Now, when it comes to music, that's going to be something either I'm going to think there's going to be our original music from our band, because we have a band, or big fan, or it'll be something like it may be like another band or something like that. We'll have to find out though. Oh, and please subscribe. So we're on pretty much my old stomping ground. To our left is Old South Pancake House right here, which is a very old pancake house. It's been in business for a very long time right there. And this whole little Einstein's is pretty much going to be in this kind of area. There's another little courtyard. Right over here is the Fort Worth Zoo, up this way to the left. So this is the University Bridge right here. And over to the left is the Fort Worth Zoo. And in October time, they do a thing called Boo in the zoo. But they got rid of the lions and tigers right now. And the hyenas are gone. And the zebras. They're doing some kind of Asian African exhibit. So I don't know if they're moving them around. There's an iguana right there. Kind of see it. Anyway, I don't know if they're moving them around or when they're coming back. But that was, the tigers and the lions were my favorite. So remember when I said I took off to Chicago? I was living there in those apartments when I did it in the 90s. So I just picked up, took all my stuff, and ran off to Chicago. I was in Chicago for a couple of days. That's where I lived when I did that. Actually returned back to that apartment from Chicago and continued living in that apartment right off of University in Fort Worth for quite a bit of time. And then I moved on from there, eventually ended up in Denton, where I graduated college at the University of North Texas. And then eventually from there is when I left for Hollywood. And then eventually to the Empire State, the great New York State. We're about to hit TCU. And this is where one of my great friends, Channing Freelove, went, but she was executed. It was a supervised execution. So she got caught up in drugs and started dealing marijuana. And the actual execution, or she was murdered, was supervised by another person, and they were part of a gang. And before this is all over, that gang will be erased from this existence, meaning there will be no more of that gang. It'll be gone forever. And at one time in life, that gang, they like to wear blue bandanas, but that gang will be no more. Goodbye. There's part of the TCU campus right there. Where that McAllister is right there, McAllister's Deli, they used to be at Stage West. They moved it to another area. They moved Stage West to an original area. But I had actually helped set that stage up. Brought those stage seats in when we first got it set up. So we actually helped build it from Texas Wesleyan for the TCU campus. Now it's a deli. What's weird is Jerry Russell, when he was alive, he started off making sandwiches before he got into theater. He's also a barber, so he cut hair for a living. He opened a theater, eventually ended up right here. It was called Stage West. It was there for several years, like, I don't know, like almost a decade. Then they moved it from there to its original spot, which is by downtown Fort Worth. Okay, so I went by the Einstein, and they were really nice, really great people. So I even got a free sandwich offer too. So they even gave me, and some coffee, which I put some coffee in there. So I'm pretty stoked. So I don't know. I think they're really nice people. I don't have anything really bad to say. You know, not all managers are the same. You know, everybody's different on management style and how they do things. This is actually where May Fest is taking place right now, which I don't know if we're gonna go to that right now. It gets real crowded. They pay for, you know, you have to pay for parking, but it's all there. You can kind of see it happening. You know, you can see some of the tents set up there where they're selling merchandise, and there's a lot of stuff going on, fireworks, all kinds of rides, but I don't know. We're not gonna explore that one yet. But I am gonna go to Speedway today, and I'll be dropping off food at your doorstep. All right, so it's still March 9th of 2022 AD, and we've got some pretty positive news, pretty good news about the whole Einstein bagel thing. So we may be able to redeem that, but in a whole different city. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm not gonna say any major location. Things have been rearranged. You're looking at part of the vlog thinking it's this area and all this stuff, so things have been rearranged and stuff like that, but it's in a different city is all I can say. But they had to do some transferring, all this stuff. So it's no longer going to be by the Addison Improv, which I like the Addison Improv. I thought it was cool. They do have another one in Arlington. A little slight Dutch angle. Now we are on May 9th of 2022. And so Linda, okay, we're doing a Dutch angle. Linda possibly could be more involved in the show from this point on. Probably pretty heavily. I'll get to you on that for sure. I'll have to find out. So I am coming up with a possible cartoon idea. I don't know how fast I'm going to be able to get around to that, but I did order shirts. So PSS is a slogan, please subscribe show is what it stands for. And that will be on the shirt, as well as YouTube Cole Spivey. I'm keeping it under my name because they're gonna find out my name anyway. Even if I changed the name of the show to the Please Subscribe Show with Linda and Cole, which I've considered doing, or King Cole or DFW Cole, they're still gonna find out it's under my channel. So maybe eventually one day I may do that later. There's also my old channel, Pigeon 1, which I looked into today, which is an older channel. It's very old. It started in around the 2010-ish time, when YouTube was actually YouTube. Now it's owned by Google. So now it's a bigger company and it's a bigger deal, so I might as well just use my name, and I can have this show or this little indie film or this little presentation. But for right now, it is a show. Still ultimately a channel, right? It's always been my channel. That's part of how it is. So it's not owned by any other kind of corporation, but it is under the YouTube platform. You could say maybe it's a web series. You could say things like that. But ultimately, it's just a YouTube channel. Okay. Major plans. We did not plan the downtown Fort Worth vlog, but we did do a little research before we headed out. We researched the library a little bit. And if I'm editing this and I'm able to completely, fully edit it, I will post a book here called Method Actors. Three generations, okay? I believe it's 3 generations of American acting style, something in that sort ballpark. The book is also known as Method Actors, and it was written by a professor of the Holy Cross University known as Vine something. The name Vine is in it. But his first name, we'll get back to the names later. It is a book. But it used to be, I don't think it's there any longer. I think someone probably got a hold of it, but sometimes books get stolen out of libraries. I'm gonna get you the name of that person, but I supposedly at this point I have flashed the book, or I have intercut, or I've inserted a photo, a screenshot of the actual book called Method Actors. 3 generations. Okay, that's not the full title, it's not the correct title, but Method Actors is in the title. Now this is a very good book, and the reason why I posted this book was because it was the first book that I connected with when I went to the Central Library back when I was probably maybe 19 years old, 18 years old. I was still a teenager for sure. And I was going to Pascal High School. This is the same high school in Fort Worth that Taylor Sheridan went to. I'm gonna switch over. Now, this book is important because it has a chapter for each method actors. Like, it has a chapter for Dustin Hoffman, it has a chapter for Jack Nicholson, Marlon Brando, James Dean, probably Shelley Winters. Hey, this is the Lonely Boat Dog right here.